This happened in the late summer of 2004 when I was 14 years old. It was very early in the morning, and I don't know why I just got up before everyone else, and I decided to go to the woods to try out my new blow dart gun. I lived on the East Coast at the time, in the suburbs surrounded by forests. From what I remember, I had the idea that if I seen a squirrel I would shoot it with the blow dart gun, but really I was just going to do target practice. I remember it was a little foggy, and the cool morning light made it look creepy in a good way. I was running around shooting the blow darts in the trees for target practice. I remember I was having a lot of fun. Then I got to the end of my property, and I noticed rustling in the leaves about 40 yards away. Whatever the footsteps were, they sounded human, and I could barely make out two tall, gangly human figures between the trees walking in my direction. I yelled out, "Hello? Who's there? I'm just back here hunting." The two figures I couldn't make out stopped immediately. Then a third figure showed up and approached me, and it'll still haunt me to this day. I describe it as a naked, fat, hairy man without a head, with long hairs, thick hairs, all over his body, about 7 inches long. I could make out his pale flesh through the gaps in his hair. He approached me very quickly, without making much noise, and stopped about 10 feet in front of me. It was as if he was floating. I was frozen in fear for about 5 seconds. Then I turned to my right and walked slowly away. It was like I couldn't run, I was so scared. I walked about 30 yards away. Then I finally got the courage to turn around and see if they were still there, but all the figures had disappeared. Understandably, I didn't want to be in the woods any longer, so I went back to my house, and I found out my brother was awake and told him about it immediately, but he was sure it was just my imagination. I had heard stories of the Headless Horseman, but I don't think that's quite what this was. That's the most terrifying paranormal experience I've ever had. If anyone's had anything like that, please comment below.